Okay, let's move on to our next facility use agreement. This is the one that the facility committee has looked at and made changes to it.
Correct, and Tim McGinnis did receive a few questions from Tim Walsh on that. Do you want to update the Board of Education?
Yeah, this is something that we do annually. We have our attorney review this to make sure there are no language changes that we should make. He did recommend some changes that are highlighted in red in the agreement that you received. We also look at, with the facilities committee, we look at the rates that we're charging in line with the rentals that we have in the facilities. So majority of our rentals are in the gymnasiums, so we looked at those rates and increased them some. We also increased some of the labor rates to make sure that we covered our expenses. There were some suggestions that Mr. Walsh had made. Most of them are minor types of changes. I can go through them if you want, but
I would just update the board so they're aware of the edits, and I ask that the resolution include that, the facility rental agreement as edited, as discussed tonight, so that gives Tim the flexibility to put in some of those edits in the final agreement.
It's fine with me.
Okay. Any questions on that? If not, do I have a motion on it?
I'm reading here.
Yeah.
In addition, the following items are specifically prohibited from the stadium, field, track, gyms, field house.
What page?
277.
Okay.
Food, beverages other than water, chewing gum, hard baseballs, metal spikes. So what's the... Is that going to shut down the selling of food?
No, we just don't want some of that stuff during rental events being brought into the gymnasium where there's maybe not enough supervision or custodial services. Also, this is also some of the limitations, so we don't have...
So like St. Mary's will no longer be able to sell pizza?
I think where it says is you can't bring it into the gymnasium.
No, it says stadium, field, tracks, gyms, field house. So you're not only talking about indoor, you're talking about outdoor.
Tim, was this part of our restrictions list?
yes.
And this was in relation to the selling of concessions? Or were you doing that in regards to...
I think this had to do with bringing the food and beverages into those venues.
From outside?
Well, like for not damaging our gym floors, damaging our new track, the turf, those types of things. So we'll clarify that. The intent was not to say that they could not sell concessions if they rented out the...
Well, that's how I would read it.
Okay, we'll address that.
All right.
Any other questions on it? All right, seeing none, can I get a motion on this?
Resolved that the Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, hereby adopts the revised facilities use agreement as amended in the packet, as well as amended based on comments received from the board at this meeting and from Mr. Walsh and others before this meeting, which will be effective immediately upon those amendments being made, as presented in the June 9, 2015 board agenda packet.
Do I have a second? Do I have a
Second.
Second by John Keane. Any other questions?
Yeah, just one question on the rates. What was the rationale? Is it just a percentage increase?
It's about a 10% increase.
On the high areas of use.
Okay, and has anyone evaluated when we get charges from Airmark to clean up certain areas, that we should be charging that area a lot more? Or, how much does it cost to clean that field house floor? Or what kind of maintenance on that floor and things like that?
We charge every rental that comes in over the weekends. We charge them all a fee for the custodial work. Airmark brings someone in on a Sunday, and the cost of that is spread with all the rentals that we have for the weekend.
And then
So is that built into this cost?
Yeah, then we went through that. We also went through this with Airmark and looked at the high areas of wear and tear where we're having to put extra manpower and extra maintenance, and so that's why some of those are up more than others.
My only comment, are you done, Gary?
Yeah, I'm done.
My only comment just concerns sort of the use of the field. And if considering we're getting a new field and even the new track, if considering the wear and tear on that facility, if it's even worth us to rent it out. It's just something I think we need to keep in mind. The other thing concerns late night football and with the lights and its potential effect on the neighbors for non-scholastic rentals. I'd just like to be able to amend this if we have to, if this agreement sort of allows that, or if it's up to our, Kevin, your interpretation.
I
if
think we
could
can
deny
always
people.
decide whether to offer somebody a contract or not.
Correct.
It's up to our, okay.
Yeah.
We have, what we have in here is just the rates in the event that the administration wants to choose it or rent it. So it provides us the flexibility to say, hey, we're not renting to this group, or
Yeah.
Okay.
gives us the choice. And we also talked about, we have there's some high school, we talked about putting a lighting restriction in here, but we didn't want to put anything in writing in the event that, there's times we have IHSA events that because of a lightning delay or the thunder delay now, last year we had a football game that went past 10:30. I mean, there's sometimes, so we didn't want to put something in there in writing that would make it think that there is a formal policy on that, but we are aware of the concerns for neighbors, and we'll try to do the best we can to keep those
Yeah,
to reasonable
I prefer to
hours.
leave it discretionary.
Right.
Okay,
That's
great.
why we left it the way we did.
Yeah.
We did have a thorough discussion about that.
And we did put, we put items in there about tailgating, nothing non allowed and
Yes.
stuff. So.
Right.
I'd like to just add a comment to John. We're improving those facilities so that the community can enjoy them. So we want to be careful that we don't restrict the community from enjoying them. However, we may want to consider next year raising the facility costs like we were thinking with the band uniforms, so that we start building money. Because every 10 years, that turf is supposed to be changed or updated. And the track is going to need something, the finish has to be, and so we should be building in that maintenance cost into the rental.
It's an idea to look at.
And so we should maybe next year raise this a little bit so that we're building the new one 10 years from now.
The track and the turf, you are correct. Eventually, the track and the turf, I would hope would be between, with the new track and the new turf and the 10-year warranty, I would imagine that we should be prepared within 12 to 15 years to spend money to resurface both of those items.
So that cost of resurfacing should be calculated into the price of renting those facilities. Somewhat.
Good point.
Fine with that.
I totally agree with, I wouldn't want to place necessary restrictions on the community except maybe time constraints, but my main emphasis would probably be out of community organizations that would be using it.
Okay, any other comments? Mary Ann?
Dr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Cindy?
Yes.
Mr. Gretchen?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Mr. Jefferson?
Yes.
Okay, it passes. Next, I don't see it on here, intergovernmental agreement, regional safe schools program.
No, we did not receive it yet from West 40, so no action. We have it on there as a placeholder.
Okay,